Looking over 7 tours, it's quite difficult sometimes to pick out favourite Lions memories, but obviously the successful tours, 1974 as a player, 1989, my first coaching role when we won in Australia, 97 when we won in South Africa. You know, the tours that I think made a huge impact on me and hopefully on supporters as well. The great memory of 1974 was winning the 3rd test in Port Elizabeth. The South Africans had never been beaten in their own country ever, and we'd won the first 2 tests, one in a wet Cape Town, and then we'd gone up to Pretoria and won there with a record score. And every time we went on the field, they're saying, "Oh, we're going to beat you next time, we're going to beat you next time." But Port Elizabeth, the 3rd one, we knew it was going to be like World War III, because this was them either saving a test series or losing it. Interestingly enough, we always sang on the way to the game, and at this test match the bus pulled up into the car park and the front door opened and we hadn't finished singing, and not one player moved. So there's everybody else all waiting, all expecting to see the Lions come off the bus, and nobody moves until we've finished the song that we're singing, and then everybody gets up and leaves. And it's little things like that that you forget. You know, even now in the professional era, that singing between the hotel and the game was just so important, and it was always the same song as Flower of Scotland, and Billy Steele introduced it. So before anybody else knew about it, the Lions were already singing it. That was us as a group, just I think really starting to come together. The memories of 1989 were significant to me as a tour, because it was my first tour as a coach. And interestingly enough, Clive Rowlands, the manager, had spoken to me. Clive and his wife Margaret invited Judy, I and the kids down to Tenby in Wales. He said, "I need you to be there for a Lions meeting." But originally he'd only said there's going to be a Lions meeting over Easter. And I was thinking, how do I tell Judy that I've got a Lions meeting over Easter weekend? But what he realised is, she was at university doing a degree at the time, that it was important that the family had a bit of respite. And it was only later he said, no, he said, that's what I'm telling the Lions committee. We've got a meeting. He said, what I'm not telling them is it's in Tenby, there's a hotel on the beach, and your family's coming down for 5 days. You know, little things like that, where you're looking at a manager who knows how important it is to get all the soft things around a tour right. And again, a big lesson that stayed with me ever since is that you have to know a little bit behind the players as to, you know, where they are, what they're thinking, what their own environment is away from rugby, and how you can best really make the most of that, so that all the support, whether it's within a Lions group or within a family, is as strong as it can be. Coming to 1997, there's some great memories from that tour, just because the team and the group got together so well. But it has to be Jerry Guscott's drop goal in the 2nd test in Durban to win the series. It was one of those things where everything just looked right and almost slow motion, that he took it and he knew exactly what he was doing, and it was, if you look at a drop goal execution, it was as perfect an execution as you probably could see. The other significant incident I think I always remember from 97 was when we'd won the 1st test against all the odds in Cape Town. Really, nobody expected us to win, but again we'd played really well. The forwards in particular had come strong, and Matt Dawson had scored a very special try in the corner. But after that, the kick-off was probably 5:30, 6 o'clock. So by the time you get away from the stadium, having done all the press and changed and everything, it's probably 10 o'clock at night. and we'd got a Mexican restaurant booked to have a meal in together. And on the way there, just before we got off the bus, Martin Johnson came to the front and turned round to the players and said, "We've a team that has to go out on the field on Tuesday against Orange Free State. They're training at 9 tomorrow. All the test players, I want to see you there, ready to hold the bags." And when you hear that, you know this tour's a bit different, you know, and there's a captain who understands exactly all the little things that make sure that the tour will work and be right. No egos, nobody's too big for anything. And 9 o'clock the next morning, everyone was there, and the test players held the bags, and we had a great training session. None of this is caught on film because the film crew who were following us were still in bed.